Controversial signs are popping up in Winchester about Muslim women that are causing confusion and outrage.
So somebody sent me this very interesting video that I thought was absolutely hilarious. What you have is probably one of the better, if not the best, trolls of 2019, as it exemplifies with apt skill the brain freeze that your average NPC breaks into when they are forced to confront their own cognitive dissonance. And it's all but 5 short words. Islam is right about women. Not only me, but many have come to the understanding that the whole left-right dichotomy no longer actually describes the political leanings that people have at this point. You can have traditionally left-leaning views on things like healthcare, welfare, or workers' rights, but if you hold any views that do not comport with what I'm now calling the Church of Woke, well then in their eyes you are a heretic, an infidel, and in the minds of your average NPC that spew this kind of intellectual drivel, you are evil. There are those that can view, understand, and accept reality without a dogmatic lens in which to view reality through, and there are those that are basically all but ideologically incapable of articulating and viewing reality without such a lens. It is the latter that I call the adherents to the Church of Woke.
Says Islam is right about women.
They read Islam is right about women.
Several more found at the elementary and high schools and Unitarian Church. It's unclear who they target, women or Islam.
This is one of about a dozen signs found here in Winchester. People we talk to say they don't even know what it means.
The sign itself is confusing. It's subject to interpretation.
I really don't know because everybody has their own opinion and I respect it. Everybody's entitled to say whatever they want.
Anita Davison says she spotted this flyer Wednesday morning on Main Street in Winchester Center. It says Islam is right about women.
I tore the first one down, and then when I saw a second one, I decided to bring it to the police department here.
I assume it's negative. No, that's not cool. It's not a cool thing to do.
It's just upsetting. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't necessary to be up and out in the streets.
When she saw these signs in Winchester Center, she ripped them down, took them to police, and alerted social media.
Islam is right about women? What?
For women, the message is insulting and unnerving.
I think it's disgusting. It's unsettling. It's somewhat of a misconception that, Islam, I guess, hates women.
It's either about women, it's either about Islam, it's about both. I'm not really sure what point they were trying to make, but either way, it was terrible.
That kind of sign is very upsetting to anyone with either an Islamic background or for many women.
The Winchester Multicultural Network also now aware, saying to whoever did it,
I think it's short-sighted. I think it's unfortunate. I don't know that you've gained anything that you wanted.
So it's unclear if this was just a prank or if a law was broken. Police are still investigating.
As you just saw, there were people that brought this leaflet to the police to see if some sort of crime was committed. Even though everyone was quite befuddled and confused by the statement itself, they did, however, know somewhere deep down that their ideological circuitry had skipped a beat. This kind of confusion is really well exemplified in this particular meme here, where you have your average NPC regurgitating Islam good, women good, Islam good, women good, so forth and so on. But when the same NPC is shown the sign there, Islam is right about women, well, he breaks his ideological circuitry. The phrase itself is a very clever delivery vehicle that forces people to confront their own cognitive dissonance and their contrary beliefs. Now, a person that can understand and function in reality without an ideological straitjacket can look at the sentence and see it in 2 ways. The first being, they can say, well, I think Islam is an overbearing religious system that systematically strips women of their human dignity and treats them with contempt. Or, the second way a person could look at it would be, Islam is a religion that provides women with the structure that their gender needs, and this traditional outlook on women is not so bad. The key here is that neither of these two ways of looking at the phrase, Islam is right about women, is logically inconsistent with the other. Conversely, a person inculcated with the dogmatic beliefs of the Church of Woke and a person that sees everything through an ideological lens cannot make this rational judgment one way or the other, and thus the confusion, anger, and befuddlement seen in the various clips. Put simply, their brain goes into a circular internal argument that fights with their ideological conditioning. Because if they say, yes, I think that Islam is an overbearing religious system that systematically strips women of their human dignity and treats them with contempt, well, they are betraying their woke beliefs on celebrating inclusion and diversity. And in doing so, they are, in their own eyes now, a bigot and an Islamophobe. On the other hand, if they say that Islam is a religion that provides women the structure their gender needs, and this traditional outlook on women is not so bad, well, if they do that, they are then agreeing and approving with the general understanding of the lot that women live with under Islam. The point is, both answers that this sentence evokes for the NPC mind forces the person to deny reality. Their ideological conditioning does not want them to confront the fact that they actually have and hold ideas and beliefs that live in opposition. To get around their own internal blasphemous thoughts, they outwardly state that Islam is a religion that celebrates women, celebrates feminism, and provides women with equality. They profess that Islam is a progressive belief system, and they must deny what is universally understood. That is, that in most Islamic societies and cultures that are based around the Quran, women tend to be treated unequally, at least from a woke Western viewpoint. And even more uncomfortable for the woke is that this inequality between the sexes is clearly codified within the pages of the Holy Quran, as well as the trusted hadiths. But in doing so, these people are forced, when confronted with the sentence, Islam is right about women, to deny reality rather than breaking with their woke conditioning. This one little sentence forces those so deluded by their own ideological flatulence to bluntly confront their conditioning and question their core beliefs that maybe, just maybe, all cultures, ideologies, and belief systems are not compatible with all others. With these 5 words, Islam is right about women. These 5 words will cause more self-reflection than a million studies, reports, and various other statistical bits of information ever could. Now, I'm not suggesting anything, but given the spectacular reaction already, I imagine these posters will be popping up all over the place, in places like colleges and university campuses, on telephone poles and bulletin boards in progressive cities like Portland, as well as an array of many, many, many other places.